Hello, hello. Is it on? Yeah. So it's always pretty hard to have a keynote after Roy. Like, it's not the first time I saw him doing this. All right. So who in this room owns an NFT? Yes, 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 yes. A few. Who runs your own business here? Anyone? That's quite a few people. So if you run your own business, if you run your own brand, I'm going to explain to you in this little presentation here why you need an NFT community, which is actually very close to what Roy just showed you guys before, in order to be successful in Web3. Thank you. But before I want to introduce myself real quick, my name is Chris. I've been working as a web designer and web developer since 2004, so I've been around the development space for quite a while. And I founded the Chris and Friends web design agency in 2010. We're a team of 25 people. We're based in Friedrichshain, and we technically build anything in so-called Web 2, from online shops, websites, content production, and so on. And 2 years ago, we started the NFT Lab Berlin, which is our new startup where we bridge those Web 2 customers into Web 3 using NFT technology. Awesome. I'm going to scratch the surface real quick. What actually is Web3? Because it's, in my opinion, it's crucial to understand this in order to get to understand the bigger picture. But it's not going to be a deep dive, because this would be its very own keynote here. So just that you guys heard of this before, there used to be something called Web 1, started in around the 1970s, until the 2000s. Then we had something called a dot-com bubble. You might have heard about this. And we call it the static internet, because this type of internet, you could just do nothing else than absorbing information, more or less. It was followed by so-called Web 2. That's AKA the internet as you use it every day, where you interact, you share stuff, you like stuff, you book your next ticket for the Universe conference, and so on. And then there's something new that came up. Blockchain technology has been around longer than since 2020, but I would say it became kind of famous, more or less, maybe around 2020. And it gives us completely new possibilities. There's things like decentralized finance, there are Web3 crypto phones, but we're going to focus on digital ownerships, on NFTs, which is one of the main things that you can do with blockchain technology, and this is what we call Web3. So what's an NFT community? NFT community, Roy explained it already a little bit. We would call them, those are the Web3 native people, the people that already, or the people that already have the funds in their wallet, have set up a wallet, and they know how to trade, mint, and sell NFTs, because the main problem that you may have at the moment with your Web2 business in Web3 is that none of your customer probably really knows how to handle digital assets. So those are NFT communities. Next, please. Thank you. I'm going to give an example now of a fashion brand that entered the Web3 world, in 2021 without collaborating with an NFT community, and then doing the same thing again 1 year later, collaborating with an NFT community and being much, much more successful. Before we focus on the number, you probably looked at the numbers already. Let's focus on the main thing on the top, which is the use case. Back then, this fashion brand had a super simple use case, which was one NFT equals one physical product. Super simple use case. It's called a token gate program. You prove the fact that you have the NFT in your wallet, and then you can order a product. The numbers are, when you say NFT owners, it's technically customers. And if you're a tier 1 fashion brand around the globe, well known around the globe, and you find the total amount of owners in Web3 is 5, and the total amount of NFT trades, for those who don't know, every time your digital asset is traded on the marketplace, you as the NFT creator, you get a fraction of the amount that is traded into your wallet. So total amount of 5 owners, 16 trades, which is technically nothing. And the last time one of these NFTs has been traded is 465 days ago, with a total amount of income, which is the total amount of Ethereum being traded on the smart contract, roughly 300 euros. I guess we can all agree on the fact that this is not a very successful NFT drop of a fashion brand in Web3. Now the same brand entering Web3 1 year later, collaborating with an NFT community, and this is the outcome. First of all, the use case has changed. Remember before it was one NFT equals one physical product. Now it's one NFT equals a 10% discount in the online shop. Different use case. Again, super simple. We should focus on the easy use cases, because the harder ones will come later. Now if we look at the numbers, we now have a total amount of customers, aka NFT owners, of over 1,000. The total amount of trades is roughly 2,500. The last time the NFT has been traded is no longer 1.5 years ago, it's roughly half an hour ago. And then if you look at the total amount of Ethereum being traded on a smart contract, it's roughly over 1 million. So the question is, how did they do that? How did they come from such low numbers in the first NFT drop to such good numbers in the second NFT drop? And the answer is, if you want to be successful in Web3, if you want to reach growth in Web3, You must partner with an active NFT community in order to bridge your brand successfully in Web3. And this sentence actually is not 100% correct, because the correct sentence would be this one. You must give value, and I'm going to show you how they did it, to an active NFT community in order to be successful or simply bridge your brands into Web3. I'm going to show you how this fashion brand did it. So, the value A. What was the value? Remember, 10% discount. Super simple value, super simple use case. So they took the value, they went to the NFT space, more or less, looking out for the NFT community founders or community managers. In this case, the NFT community is not one of the famous ones, the Bored Apes, the Azukis that Roy mentioned before. It's another one. It's called Imaginary Ones. It's roughly 9,000 NFT holders. Again, Web3 native people. All of them have set up a wallet. All have funds in their wallets. All know how to trade, mint, and sell your Web3 digital asset. And last but not least, and that's super important, these guys are super active on the social media. They have like roughly 60,000, 50,000 members on Discord, and roughly 500,000 active Twitter followers. So this is the circle, and this is the bubble where you want to bring your digital asset into in order to grow in Web3. This is exactly what they did. So our fashion brand was officially announcing the fact that they're now collaborating with this new NFT community called Imaginary Ones. A. B, they were giving 50% of the value, remember the 10% discount of the NFTs, to the existing Web2 customers. You should not forget about them. They were using the classic old school Web2 techniques from Instagram, email lists, whatever was there. But what's more important is the other side. Those 50% were given again to the Web3 NFT community, the Web3 native people, and this is the outcome. The social media mentions of this fashion brand entering Web3 rocketed almost 1,000% to the year before on all NFT-related keywords, like Hugo entering fashion into metaverse, NFT, and so on and so on. And the total outcome, this brand awareness in Web3, was in a result that all 1,000 or over 1,000 NFTs were sold out on launch day in less than 2 hours. And the trading volume at the moment, I think it's even more than around 700 Ethereum or something. This is super successful. So if there's one takeaway from this little presentation here, is that if you want to do online marketing, reach growth in Web3, you should not use the same technique as in Web2, because it works different. And I'm going to show you 2 final slides to give an example. Now let's rewind time a little bit, just real quick. 10 years ago, social media came up longer than 10 years ago, but let's say like 10 years ago, we had something new came up that we call influencers. Influencers and brands back then understood, okay, we have to give some type of value to these centralized influencers. One account influencing other people, and this is why we call it a centralized marketing technique. It's very obvious at the moment. 10 years later, everyone does it. It's completely normal, but 10 years ago, it was something completely new that one account was given the opportunity to like do some marketing for you, send them some physical products, allow them to use your brand in order to get reach in Web2, and then simply sell in your online shop. Something completely normal now in 2023. Now, same but still yet different is in Web3. We have something called a decentralized marketing, which means you no longer reach out to one centralized person with a centralized account. You now reach out to the NFT community managers or founders, and they are then reaching out to their owners. And every single of these guys is actually an influencer by himself. And not only that, every single of these guys have a buying power within their wallet as well. So this is when it becomes a decentralized marketing tool. And maybe last but not least, there is like two buzzwords that may change in the future. In Web3, we would no longer call them influencers, we call them NFT communities, and it's no longer called followers, we call them NFT holders. Next, please. Thanks. So maybe final takeaway from this, anything you do in Web3, in the NFT community, make sure that you understand that everything circles around NFT communities. Everything circles around communities. And if you do this actually in a really, really good company, all the famous fashion brands that were successful in Web3 were doing exactly this. And the brands that were not successful in Web3, I'm not going to give you a list of them, but if you follow this instruction, this is exactly the way it goes, and you're going to be very successful in Web3, in the NFT space with your brand. That's it. Thank you.